country singer Jason Aldean. You know what's going on? He's facing a ton of criticism over a video for his song, Try That in a Small Town. The video's so controversial that CMT has even pulled it from its rotation. So the video shows images of serious conflict between protesters and police and flag burning. Part of it was filmed outside a Tennessee courthouse that was the site of a very famous lynching. And it also used footage from Black Lives Matter's protests. Let's take a look.
Try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Round here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't.
Jason actually responded to the criticism saying, quote, "There isn't a single lyric in the song that references race or points to it. And while I can try and respect others to have their own interpretation of a song with music, this one goes too far." He went on to say the song refers to a feeling of a community that I had growing up where we took care of our neighbors. Well, regardless of differences of background or belief, end quote. Well, singer Sheryl Crow, she had a much different take, tweeting, "There's nothing small town or American about promoting violence. You should know that better than anyone, having survived a mass shooting. This is not American or small town, like it's just lame." Jason was on stage, of course, during the Las Vegas mass shooting that left 58 people dead. Some of the lines I just want to give you: "Got a gun that my granddad gave me. They say one day they're going to round up. Well, that might fly in the city. Good luck. Try that in a small town. And full of good old boys, raised up right. If you're looking for a fight, try that in a small town." That to me is all about race. What do you think, Erica?
I question. So we talk about racism as it being both something that is covert and then overt. And I think that this song is trying to ride that line. But ultimately, we are talking about discrimination. This is, see how far, we'll try that in a small town, see how far you make it down the road. Around here, we take care of our own. Was that the message that was being sent to Ahmaud Arbery when he was gunned down on the street for just simply running? Oh, is that what the message is? Because it seems very clear. It's like now we just say the really quiet things out loud and resoundingly so. So, I mean.
Well, we say it and we show it, Erica. I mean, if you look up, he says the song's about unity. If you were making a video about unity, first of all, I don't know where a burning American flag would come into that. But, you know, it's interesting that he got footage from the BLM protests. I don't know if that was just B-roll. Some of it looked strange and produced, but it's interesting that he didn't have any footage from January 6th, because that involves cops being assaulted, and that's in recent memory. And it's just interesting. He would have had to gone past the January 6th footage to get to the BLM footage. So I'm just curious, and we found the backgrounds of a lot of those January 6th protesters, rioters, and they were from small towns. So maybe it's just like the song hadn't come out yet. And maybe if it had, they would have listened to it, and then there wouldn't have been any issues. The idea of this video being shot in front of that courthouse, it means something as well.
It's a statement.
He could have, if he was serious about unity, he could have shot that in front of the church in Charleston where 9 parishioners were murdered in cold blood by an open white nationalist, and had, you know, the racists standing in front of it like, let's do better. But instead he chose to do the video shoot in front of a courthouse, which was the site of an infamous lynching. And also courthouses represent, you know, for black people, especially black men in general, the sites of many injustices. Many of those people we've interviewed on this show. So I don't think anything's by mistake. And I think for him, I think it's a great business move. I do. I think it shows his base, like he's on their side, and you got to pick a side. He's picking a side.
Yeah.
Julia says the video just shows a lot of hate. Do you agree? What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, so it just shows how divided America is, right? I mean, we think thoughts come from New York, Chicago, LA, and there's a huge part of the country that thinks this way, right? I think he knows his base, he's appealing to his base. I think Trump knows his base, he's appealing to his base. They don't care what the other side says. I'm not for this type of aggravation, upsetting people,
right.
incitement,
Right.
all of those words. I'm more someone that wants to reunite the country, right? This is picking a side. He can't be canceled. He already has a fan base. People like that can't be canceled. But to incite this, even though you have a following, try to take your followers, right? If you're a leader, take your followers and try to merge the countries, right? I understand there's a lot of music out there that talks about where people grow up. This is how he grew up, right? That's his right to speak about that. But if you're going to lead people and people are going to follow you, you have to have some sort of moral code, right? You have to say like, hey, my brothers and sisters of all colors, of all races, of all sexualities, let's make this world a better place, not separate us even more in an already separated United States. There's no united in the States about what's going on right now.
Jeff, and he also has such a unique position being the person that was on stage during the greatest mass shooting, I don't call it the greatest, the largest mass shooting in American history, which is never discussed. People say 58 people were murdered, which is a lot, but also 500 were wounded. People lost eyes, so that they did in January 6th as well. But he is a unique position in which he could say, I was there and I saw the effects of what can happen with these weapons. Yeah. And let's use them responsibly and make
instead of got a gun that my granddad gave me, bringing up
come get it and I'll shoot you.
Like that doesn't work with
You were just surrounded by dead bodies at your concert less than 4 years ago.
Here's my thing. If you're going to say this, and I agree with all of you, it is going to his base. It's, whatever. Own it. If I'm for freedom of speech, if you want to do that. For speech, I absolutely abhor. That's what freedom of speech means. If you're going to say it, don't come out with a statement and tell me this isn't about race. That is insulting to anyone when you have BLM protests. It's outside the Tennessee lynching courthouse, and you bring up good old boys. To me, that's a code word that clearly means white, racist, Confederate flags abound, in which he has had in his concerts before, Jason Aldean. So don't come with me as this is not about race. I never reference race. You do. You do. In the visual statements, in the things that you coded. To me, this is a blatantly racist song. And if it is, say it.
Erica, I want to get your opinion on this as well. I still think this is insulting to small towns. I think that there are a lot of folks.
That's what Sheryl Crow was saying. That's right.
I think a lot of folks are from there. Whenever we have a weekend off, or we have a lot of weekends, we all dip out to small towns and go hang out and go do something different and see different parts of the country. And it's insulting that this is what you think small towns represent. If you come for us, we're going to kill you. Like, that's the vibe. It's like, come to our small town.
See how far you make it down the road.
Spend your big city dollars, and let's all hang out. I would think would be a better message in a more palatable way.
The odd thing is this song will shoot up the charts, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll be, because anything taboo, anything that gets canceled, CMT cancel it, we're talking about it now. And the more you take away from people, the more things rise up. So we'll see how, we'll just see how this works out.
I just hope it brings up conversations as well.